Hey, welcome to this shortwave channel, and of course I told you that I would actually talk about my 10 favorite shortwave receivers that I own. And there's no particular order, but I decided to start with probably the cheapest that I find is pretty amazing for, what it is. And of course Mr. Paul the Cat is here, wants to try to help me out with the videos. So if you see a cat face or paw or something, it's kind of normal because the guy is just here. So, what do I like about the Tecsun R9012? This is, I believe, my first ever Tecsun radio. It's an analog radio, so that of course means that it is imprecise in its tuning, but it works well. There's no DSP chips in here. It's really good old analog radios like the good old days. It's a nice small portable. What's good? It's cheap. Roughly 22, 23 US dollars, including shipping. So that's not expensive. And if you are really scared of losing it because you travel or something, I think this is a good radio for that. It's quite sensitive for a small portable. I was expecting something that wouldn't get a lot of stations. I got something that is actually quite surprising. If you clip on a little piece of wire, actually improves even more. It is an AM FM radio, has FM stereo through the earpiece, and it has 10 shortwave bands. Goes from 75 meters in 3.7 to 4 megahertz all the way to 13 meters, the 21 megahertz band. It's divided in two bands, so of course it omits the middle of the frequency. So that's one of the negatives of it, if you can't tune in between the shortwave bands. It has very nice and strong audio. It has a little tuning LED right here that comes red when signals are strong. If you're not very tech oriented, if you're scared of radios that have too many buttons, it's very simple in operations, like a good old analog radio. It contains a power connector, so you can actually power it with a wall wart of some sort, 3 volts. It works with 2 AA batteries that honestly last forever when you put these batteries in here, and I can tell you it's just crazy. I used it a lot of times, and I kept the batteries in there for months. Of course, when you don't use it, remove the batteries to make sure they don't leak. It also has an earphone jack where you can of course listen in to better audio even more with the earphones. And it's really a nice cheap little radio for travel. Simple to use and quite sensitive. What bad points do I have on it? Well, the analog dial means you are a little off and you're not really sure where you're tuning exactly. And it is a little off when you tune around. You notice that it's not very precise. But, that's the price of analog. Most analog radios are kind of off somewhat, some more than others. So that's one thing. One thing that I would say is a negative side to this is the fact that there's some parts of the bands that are missing. So for example, if you want to tune the 49 meter band, there's a lot of there's a lot of stations that are, yes, Mr. Paul, I know you want to be in the near the radio, but there are some sorry, I'm laughing here. Oh god. So there are some bands missing. So 49 meter band, for example, which starts at 5.9, well, there are stations all the way down to 5740, so you miss out on 200 kilohertz of stations roughly on the bottom part here, which is kind of sad. Same for the 41 meter band. It ends at 7.350. It goes a little higher when you go to the end, but you miss out on, for example, WRMI 7780, which is one of the stations I listen to, or WRNO 7500. There are some stations near, at 7400, 7450. So you're missing out on some of the frequency ranges. And that's the negative side of things, because honestly, if that would be a little more expanded, it would be more interesting, of course. But still, it's you got to live with it. And analog radios, especially when they have several bands that you switch from one to the other, are often like that. It overloads if you put a really long wire and have very strong stations. That's something you got to know. So this is not going to be much of a DX machine, honestly, but it's going to be, it's still a nice radio. And in some cases here, you know, here I have very, very strong FM stations breaking through on many radios that I own. There's some slight breakthrough of FM. If you live near a strong FM station, that could be some problem. But it's not that bad. I mean, if I compare it to the TVDO V115, which is roughly the same price with a lot more features, the TVDO V115 is roughly impossible to use here. Where the R9012 is actually pretty easy, and it's very good to use, even though there's a little bit of breakthrough. So overall, this is very difficult to beat for the price and performance that you get. And you know, if you're going to travel, if you go somewhere, you're afraid of losing a radio, you're afraid of maybe getting it stolen. Well, for 20 bucks, you know, you won't actually go too bad. For 20 bucks, you're just gonna be very happy to just buy another one. You know, you're gonna, like, it's always sad to get it stolen, but at least you know that it's just 20 bucks and you can have another one for next time you travel or do something. So Mr. Paul the Cat totally agrees with this, of course. So I hope that you guys enjoy my top 10 radios with Paul the Cat. Whoa, Paul the Cat in every frame. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Thanks for watching.